This is Just AMZN on Wednesday, June 19th, 2019, and let's try and make some sense of what happened today. I'm zoomed out. I'm going to get rid of this triangle. That's not really in play. We've broken out of it. But this line that I drew here is still in play. We actually pulled back to it here and again here. We've had a lot of bearish pressure as we've just pulled back from this high of 1921.67. So I'm going to zoom in on the 2 days here. And, you know, I like drawing triangles. I'm going to draw kind of a downtrend. Yeah, it doesn't really fit too well. It's not great. I mean, it's okay. But it wasn't anything really. It's a little better. If you go off of kind of the close, or not the close, the bodies here, don't quite touch those. You're really into them today. So I'm just trying to find something that fit yesterday and continued today. Maybe that, but then that doesn't help us. Oh, that's not really working. So anyway, we just had a lot of bearish pressure. These S curves that rolled over. Even this one rolled down quickly. Very quickly out the gate. We had a high wave candle that broke down, and 10-15 minutes later it was bouncing off of this line. Let's see on the daily how that looks. I may leave that line. Oh, it doesn't show up. I don't know why it doesn't show up. Do I have to tell it to sync to all views? I don't know. But anyway, it was a really nice line to have in here, because you could have been aiming for this as your target from this high wave candle. If you got into that bearish out the gate, hang on, something got hung up. There we go. Okay. If you went bearish out the gate, would have been like a $200 risk, or somehow done like 13 by 12 or gotten in on that next candle. Let's say somehow you did 13 by 12. Then that ran up to 19. So that's 6R right out the gate. That's the 1900 put. If we look at the 1875 put, it's a little too far away, I think. Let's see what happens there. So 5.5 by 4.5, that would have worked. That went up to 8.5. So that's 3R. The line that I had drawn in was around 1890. So maybe you can use the 1890 strike. A little more than $1. 950 by 850 probably. And that went up to 1450. So 5R? Yeah, 5R. So that would have been tough. And then just sideways, completely sideways, just chugging along. The calls as well. This is the 1925 call, completely sideways through here, jogging around between like $1 range. And like I said yesterday, the main reason for that is waiting for the FOMC to make some announcement, and then this massive candle came in. We immediately pulled down right back to the low of the day, right back to this line at 1893. Actually, I didn't try and fix this yet. Yeah, it's not working. Forgot to do that. I haven't closed the program in a little bit. All right, came back down there and rallied and made a new high in the day. Almost took out yesterday's high. There was opportunity to get into this on this candle, doing like 6 by 5. That would have worked. I mean, buying anywhere here, I mean, it didn't even wick down. There was so much premium just being holding these things up that the market makers didn't want to give up premium in one area or one direction or the other. So things were just flat, even though it had a decent move around in here. Just barely moved on the options. So as this pulled way back down, the options didn't lose a ton of value. and then the market makers were, you know, charging extra basically to have you get in here versus here. And if nobody was buying way down there, it didn't even get down to 5. But there's a tiny wick here, and there's a big wick here, which means there's something not aligned there. Even the puts, you had a wick here of about $1 range, you know. So, and then back here, this was, let's see, the open, and the low, about $6 apart. So, anyway, nice rally. Rolled back down, retested the midday high, bounced, and even though it bounced nicely, it's kind of hard to play that with like the 1925 calls. You would have had to have been buying anywhere down here at 850. I'm sorry, it's at 550, and it didn't even get up to 750. I mean, this one did, but over here it didn't. If we look at the 1900 call, yeah, it's a little too expensive. 1915 call, maybe? Oh, that's nice. That's around 10 or 9. Okay. So that was holding around 850 all day, 8 to 850 if you were buying. That made it up to 11. That would have been, nope, not quite to 11. Let's call that 2R. This is just chop. Let's say you got in here, 9 by 8. You know, it didn't quite double, but close. Probably could have gotten out at the previous high here, around 13. Nice conservative setup. So that would have been 4R. And then 9 by 8 worked again here to go 2R to 11, and then here go 2R to 11. So there was opportunities to just buy these lows on the options and just wait. So that would have worked on the calls, but on the put, and I'm gonna have to restart this thing. This is being really slow today. My apologies for the video because I did not know what was going on with this. Come on, there you go. All right, so here, it didn't work to buy a low. I mean, could have bought a low here, but if you had the order sitting out there at 10 by 9, you know, it worked to 12 here, worked to 12 here, but then here, buying a 10, I mean, you got majorly stopped out if there was slippage, or you got rid of 10, or you're waiting for it to recover some and got up here and you didn't exit, you know, and you ended up saying, okay, I'll get out, and you get it out at this low, and, you know, you're way down here. So you don't want to be that person who's buying at the wrong place. Everybody's done that, and hopefully you'll learn from that, but it's still just something to see. Anyway, that was random. So after hours, we're continuing higher. I got this idea, and I want to see how things play out, obviously. But these two candles right here remind me a little bit of these two, but this was after a breakdown, a consolidation that broke down, gapped down, and recovered to that consolidation and rolled over. These two candles remind me a little bit more like what's going on over here. The reason being, we've got this downtrend here, and we got a downtrend here. We run right into that after a nice bounce. This was a great bounce. High wave candle rallied up and then just paused in here. This ended up pausing for most of January, all of February, and then we started to have some movement in the early half of March, and then the rally. But if you just look at these candles here, we're below a previous high, this one, below previous high, this one. If we continue higher, now I'm not saying we're going to have 4 candles that pull back in the high wave. I think we're actually going to go higher tomorrow. That would be like this candle, breaking out, getting above these 2 candles, or right up to the high. No, I think we'll get above it. And then the next couple of candles get a little bit higher and don't quite take out this previous high. I don't know that we're going to get up above this. If we do, that's a new all-time high. Right? No. no, not all-time high. It's a new recent high. We couldn't do that here. And so if we get up to this price, we'll just see if we can get up above this one. But what I guess ideally what I'd like to see is a continuation Thursday and then Friday. We get up to 1983. Nope. What is that? 1982, 70. No, 1972.50. Get up here and let me draw this. This is what I'm picturing based on what happened over here. I think we've got the pause. I think this one lasted longer. Then we're gonna rally, and then we're gonna pull back. So I think this is the pause. I think we're gonna rally. I think we're gonna hit this, and I think we're gonna come back and hit this. I think those are X marks the spot, X marks the spot. And then from here, there's the potential that we go sideways for a couple months. Totally potential. It worked here. I kind of conveniently drew this yellow, this oval below the yellow line. Let me show you something there. I'm going to clear this. So pause the video now, or pause it a few seconds ago, I guess, if you want to see that again. But, all right, that's gone. Let me switch back to, close. There we go. I was just playing around with this, and I duplicate. Oh, duplicate. Why is it not? I don't know why it's not cooperating. Duplicate trend line. Something's not cooperating. It was just working. I just did this to see how this lined up before the video. Now I've not moved this yellow line. That's been like that for however long. But if I connect it here, and I connect it, but I put the endpoint, I get the close. This is yet another, it's another line going through the same area here. It's kind of crazy how that lines up. So if I zoom out on this, now you got this other downtrend channel this way. Didn't quite get there here. And I think we're going to push above it here, which means the angle could be wrong on this. And then if I apply a different angle up here. Anyway, it just gets a little more confusing from there. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one. I still kind of like that one sitting there. It's just kind of this random line going across. But what I'm starting to picture here is some similarities to what we've done before. And so let me draw those. And you can make up your own mind on how you're going to play these things. This is a really nice V bottom. This is a really nice V bottom. This one was bigger. This one's more of a retest of all of this. Retesting over here. Horrible line, sorry. This one was getting people stopped out, trapping bears before it rallied hard. I think this one did some of the same thing. I think this one got a bunch of bears loaded up on this day, inside candle, started to break out, and just ran. I think a lot of bears got trapped here. And so I still think a lot of bears are trapped when, if this continues higher. And so that's kind of what I'm seeing here is if we do this sort of thing, go a little bit sideways here and then bounce, even more bears are going to be trapped. So we do that and then bounce. So many more bears are trapped. If we get above this high for Friday, and yes, I'm saying getting above 1972.50 by Friday, so 2 days. If we get above that, I think so many bulls are going to hop on up here bullish because it's breaking out. And so many bears are going to be closing positions because they're losing more than they thought they ever would way up here. And then I think next week we'll have that kind of a pullback and come back to, let's see here. Oh, the date didn't show up. Oops. Annotate, clear. Okay. What's the date here? 7/3. That's convenient. 7/3 is a US holiday. Well, no, sorry. 7/4 is a US holiday. 7/3. The market closes early, I think, and then 7/5, it's open a full day. So this could be a target here. This could be a target here. This could be a target here. I think we pop out a little bit more. This is incredibly bullish, trapping so many people down here. I think so many more bears are trapped, and it's going to push a little bit higher. Now, it's not going to continue to go like super crazy bullish. Well, let me take it back. That's a very small possibility that it could. There's a small possibility it could take out the all-time high in the next week. What I'm somewhat anticipating is a little bit more of a pop, get up to this level, and sell off next week. Allow people to reload who are paying attention, are emotional about getting stopped out way up here. Then I think it's going to start to do more of an S curve and continue. That's what this was. This was a massive S curve and just continue. You have smaller ones here too, like this false breakout. Well, it's a real breakout. It just didn't last. Into a very sharp S curve and higher. So if you picture what's going on in the chart like this, V bottom into some resistance, V bottom into some resistance, pop out, go sideways, pop again, S curve. You know, there's so much potential for things to look similar in these areas. This area of the chart and this area of the chart. And it would somewhat probably bode well for summertime, that people are less active in their trading accounts, and so there's going to be some quieter opportunities. Last one was in January, February. We'll see what happens if we do something like this July, August. I don't know. But still be bullish until something actually turns around and shows us, okay, it's trapping people, we're trapped too, and it's not going to work. Look for that exit, that kind of thing. For these, we'll see. We'll see what happens from here. Nice high wave, nice hammer type candle. It's fine to continue higher. It's fine to pull back. We could pull back and just chop around in this area, come into this price, or we could pull back sharply, come way back down to 1747 or something, close this gap, do that down here, and then start to bounce. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I know we got some really clear levels here and here and here. I'm range bound by this. And these are two more bullish candles, so 6 bullish candles in a row, with some retest gaps, with some bearish retest, bullish retest, bullish retest. There's mostly retest in there, but let's say something comes back hard and pulls way back down to this level. That's a great new place to be buying down there. So just gonna be nimble and really watch what's happening in the chart, and we'll see how this all plays out in the next couple of weeks. See how far I'm off with my speculating of what I think could happen. So hope all that makes sense. This is just AMZN. Thanks.